G'day and welcome to this video on how to put together the Beast. Thank you very much for purchasing this tripod. I'm sure you're going to have many years of wonderful use out of it and really enjoy its stability and ease of use. I certainly love mine. Now, before we put this thing together, I just want to make sure that you have your four parts. So you should have a set of legs, a leveling bowl, and a video head, the VH10X, and also that little plate, that one there, the MP20. So make sure you got those four bits, and yeah, let's get going. We'll start with the legs. Now, I'll just run through everything that comes with this set of legs because it can actually be configured in three different ways. So at the moment, it'll come out of the box with a flat plate in there. You can also configure it with a center column, and we're going to convert it to take the leveling bowl itself. So that part there, the center column, you don't need to use that, so you can put that aside. You do need that box there that's got the leveling bowl adapter in it, and you'll also get a set of spiked feet. So it's up to you whether you want to run the rubber feet or the spiked feet. I just run the rubber feet most of the times. Now, before we do this, just grab yourself one of these Allen keys, because for some reason all Sirui tripods come out of the factory with the rubber feet will be a little bit loose. They won't be tight. So just grab your Allen key. There's a hole in here, and then just nip that up. I'll just see if these ones are loose. Yeah. They don't tighten them up out of the factory for some reason, and what can happen if you're not aware of that, then after you've been using it for a while, they can come loose and you run the risk of one falling off. So just nip those up. So just tighten the leg locks. You don't have to put a lot of pressure on it, but just make sure they are nipped up. Okay, now we're good to go. So what we need to do is we need to take this flat plate out, and we need to put the leveling bowl adapter in, the 75mm bowl adapter, which is this piece here. Okay, so really easy to do. Underneath here, we just undo this hook, and the hook actually has an Allen key built into it, which is a great feature. That comes out. This is held in by 3 Allen key grub screws here. So just use your Allen key there to loosen all 3 off. And then this will come out like so. And this is a really good design. These aren't screws that go in and the thread doesn't lock up. It's actually got plates. It pushes plates in against it. So it's a very, very nice design. Okay, so we get that leveling bowl adapter. He just sits in there, doesn't matter where it goes, and then we just tighten these 3 up again. And that is now ready to receive the leveling bowl. Okay, we'll pop these back in this box. Keep all these bits because, as I say, you do have the option of running this tripod in these 3 different configurations. So you may want to take the leveling bowl out for some reason and put a ball head on it, or a gimbal head for a large lens or something like that. Okay, now let's unbox the leveling adapter, and we're going to actually put that onto the video head at the same time because it's a little bit easier. So I'll just get rid of this and we'll unbox these 2 here. Okay, so once you've got your video head unboxed and the leveling bowl adapter that unboxed, we're going to join these 2 here. Before we do that, you get this really nice bag that the head comes in. Unfortunately, we don't really have a use for it. It doesn't really fit once this is all configured. I did try sort of playing around with it on here, sitting over there, but it doesn't really fit, unfortunately. So you also get a strap to carry it. So I just use that to store all of the bits from this tripod that I don't use. or if you have some other use for it, it is a really nice, well-made little cover. Okay, now, so grab your video head, and we just need to take this arm off because we won't be using that. So we just unscrew that, just unscrew it all the way. So that comes out. And then, as I say, I store all these extra stuff in that head pouch. Okay, and in here we just need to connect that to this, which is really simple, just screws in through there. That's why it's just a little bit easier doing this with it off the tripod rather than on. So you just want to tighten that on. There is grub screws here that normally we would screw these up and it just nips up onto the head to help locate that. But of course they don't line up. This head is too small for that plate. So there's no use in using those. I just nip mine up and I've never had any problems with it coming undone. Okay, so now once that is on there, we just need to take this bottom half here off and we will fit it to the tripod. Just a tip too, these legs are not part of Sarui's waterproof series, and I have found with saltwater use, and I shoot seascapes, then I have got a little bit of surface rust on these metal bits. So if you have any silicone spray, actually I've got a can right here just to show you. So silicone spray is really good. It's a dry lubricant, so it goes on and it'll leave a dry film that'll help protect these stainless parts here. It is stainless, but for some reason it's getting a little bit of surface rust on it. So this simply goes in here, and that's our leveling bowl there. And then we just screw him back up. And Bob's your uncle, you are in business. Now we are nearly done. All we need to do is fit the MP20 plate onto this plate here. So let me show you how to do that. So this one here locks it. That locks it from coming out. We've also got to push that red lever in there to get that plate out. Just tighten that up. So we undo that one, push the red lever, and then this plate will come out. Now we just take this guy out of the bag. And I think from memory, yeah, so you've got a couple of different screw sizes in here. We only need to use a little one that'll fit into this thread here. So we just pop that rubber plate out, and we need to take the big one out. So big one out, leave the small one in. Just put that rubber plate back in. Now all we need to do is screw this guy onto here. So this fits easier one particular way, and that is by putting this little release pin at the front. So this is on a slide. You want it at the back so that you can get to the locking lever. And I just basically have mine lined up at the back. Just have it nice and square, and then just lock up that screw underneath. Yep, and that is done. And then that will now go in here. So this, the orientation of this is that to the back, and your tilt lever is on the left-hand side. So that'll now just slide in. Once it's in, we then just lock that off. And you can have a play with that. The idea of this being on a slide is to set your counterweight for your camera. So on a small light camera, it doesn't really make too much difference, but on a bigger, heavier camera, you can have a play with where this sits. And what it will do is it'll just help this counterbalance through here to make that a little bit smoother. But again, this is not critical because we're not using this as a video head. We're not shooting video with it. We're just using it for stills. Now, so you're all set to go. Let me just run through a couple of other little things on this as far as using it. With the legs, we've got different angles here that we can set it. With this particular system, just pull that right out and it will lock in, and then you can get it to whichever position you want to lock it back in. And that's only if you want to spread the legs out on really sort of certain angles. So as I say, yeah, just pull that one right out and then you can lock it back into whatever position you want. Now, as far as using the head, just let me put a camera on. Just take this off. So we just drop it in and just lock it up. Now, as far as the workflow for using it, what you want to do is, once you've roughly got your camera into position, you want to level it off here. So you can either use your level on the back, it's just a matter of undoing that and getting it to a level position and then locking it. Now, you have got levels in here. If you really want to perfectly level this head here, so this is critical if you were shooting video with it, or if you are shooting a pano, then just bring the camera right down. You've got a little ball level in here. Just undo that and then get that perfectly centered in the little spirit level ball there. And then this head is now perfectly leveled. And then when you pan off the bottom here, it'll stay level. So that's only really critical if you're shooting, if you're going to stitch panoramics, or if you did happen to be shooting video with it. Personally, I don't. I just find it's quicker and easier just to roughly get it into position and then just do my level so that it's leveled off. And just a tip for that, if you're on an uneven ground, we don't have a lot of movement here. I can't remember what the degrees is. It's about 15 degrees, I think, from memory. So if you're on uneven ground, you want to try and get this fairly level via the length of the legs before you actually set the level. Because if you don't, you may run out of adjustment and not be able to get it level. So we simply get it level first, and then on the bottom here, this is our panning. So that locks the panning off. You've got 3 different settings for the panning, 1, 2, and 3. So 3 being stiffer and 1 being smoother, and then 0 is undone completely. So there's no fluid friction there at all. I run mine on 1. I find 1 is just nice and smooth enough. And then our tilt up and down is on the left-hand side here. So we undo that lever there, and we can tilt the camera up and down to set our composition and then lock it off. And you can get this in a position where you can move it and it will stay. And again, with the height of the weight of your camera, you may want to adjust this slide to sort of set that to however you want. But that's basically it. Any questions, don't hesitate to drop me an email and I will answer them for you. Thanks again for buying the Sirui Beast. I'm sure you are going to love it. I absolutely love mine. Enjoy. Catch you later. Bye. One other thing I did forget, it does actually fit in the bag. So to do that, just tilt the head forward as far as it'll go. And you may want to just push that down a bit. And then that will now just fit in the bag. It's a little bit snug, but it does fit in there.